My name is Adrian Roach, Bermudian. I'm 23 years old. I'm a professional boxer. Just recently met Waterloo over the weekend. Thank you.
That's what's up. So tell me a little bit of what it was like growing up in Bermuda for you.
My memories of childhood were pretty good. I was always around family. Like my childhood, it was very family based and still is. In my life now, I'm very family orientated. Yeah, growing up, it was like a lot of family, you know.
As you were a young guy, let's go back into kind of like your middle school, teenage kind of years.
Yeah.
Were there any moments in your life where you could have seen yourself taking a different path?
At the middle school, early high school, I started seeing myself veer onto a path of like getting in trouble a lot, fighting a lot at school, which is partially the reason that I found boxing. And I was just dabbling in different things, antisocial behavior, getting involved in your own crowds. I found myself doing that around early high school.
And in your early high school, what were things that kind of drew you to those behaviors? Like what drew you in? And what drew you? Was it just like you chilling with others? Was it your friend group?
Right.
Was it the guys that you grew up with were getting involved? Like, talk to me a little bit more in detail around that phase. We're gonna move into the part.
Yeah, I think what drew me in was like the hype of it. Like it was like an adrenaline rush. You heard music, things like that, and you try to emulate that. Like, you know, just not knowing and not having that guidance, and not being able to distinguish what's, you know, like what should be kept within, you know, music parameters and what should be, you know, done socially. And but yeah, just not seeking out advice from older people as well. Like, you know, you hear them talk, but then you don't really take it in because you just want to be young and explore, right? But just mainly the excitement of it, right?
What were some of the things that you find yourself getting caught into?
I found myself fighting often, both in school and in the community. I was angry, you know, certain things had happened. And, you know, just didn't know how to take that out properly, and I didn't know how to channel it in the right way, positive ways. So, you know, I took it out with my hands, and I was fighting a lot.
What were some of the things that you would say you were angry at and that you were battling? And those times that you weren't able to talk about that drove you to fight?
I lost my grandfather, for one. It was something that, you know, I battled with hard. And just because I never got to say like proper goodbye, and then like when he would call and things like that, it was something that I kind of rush off just because I was a kid and I thought, like, you know, other things were more important. But like, you know, watching TV or getting back to your game. And he'll call and I'll like kind of rush off the phone. And you don't cherish those things until you're like a little bit older. You know, I felt that really deeply. It's still something that I battle with. And it was so sudden and unexpected. You know, it stripped something from me, and then I didn't realize what I had until it was gone, and that made me upset because it's something that you can't get back. In addition to that, you know, something when I was younger, really bad that happened, and you know, it made me frustrated, made me angry for years still, and it's a daily decision, even today, not to act on it, and it's a daily decision not to, you know, to go seek out, you know, justice by my own hands. Things like that. So, but yeah, there's things that made me angry and that drove me to such antisocial behavior. Yeah.
What was the moment and who was the person? It's probably not a moment, but it's definitely a person that impacted you and shifted that anger into boxing. And how did you get introduced to the sport of boxing?
I was introduced. So the moment that was that shifted me, where I was able to, you know, translate my anger into, you know, motivation to do things. I would say my coach, Leo Richardson, he really helped hone that in. I saw through his eyes where he didn't have the same introduction to boxing. I was introduced to boxing at 15. Leo didn't get started boxing until he was 27. So he didn't have that when he was younger. So he went down the hill path, and I was able to see through him and through his advice, like where it would lead me if I kept doing the path that I was on. I was suspended for fighting, and my father took me to the boxing gym and introduced me to Leo. And from there, we just kicked off, and it just haven't looked back.
And in that transition of kind of going from fighting to channeling it more positively, what were some things that you had to do to distance yourself from the people that you may have been around? Or what choices did you have to make to choose to do something differently?
The internal change was once again weighing my options. Another thing was just having something to lose. I did before boxing, I didn't think I had anything to lose. With boxing now being introduced to me, and then I found out that I was, had some talent towards it, it kind of just gave me an element of like, if I do this, there will be repercussions. And yeah, just really just having that mindset of, and having people help me find that mindset of you have things to lose in this life, whether it's boxing, whether it's freedom, whether it's, friends, family, like you do lose in the long run when you keep on doing those things.
Talk to me about like the power of sport, and the role that it's played in kind of shaping who you are and what you see for yourself in the future.
Right. Sport has really encapsulated my life. Sport saved me from myself. Sport has been my, my confidant. It's been my everything, really. When it comes to how I conduct myself, how I aim to battle myself every day, whether it's mentally or physically in the gym, like boxing has become that avenue for me to just really like improve myself, and just going forward in life, like it's really given me the discipline, the drive to get things done, and even if I didn't choose to become professional in boxing, just having that basis and that foundation that boxing instilled in me, of discipline and dedication and like working hard, I know that I'll be able to apply it to whatever I aim to do.
Yeah. If there was a young person that you were talking to right now that you knew was really, really angry, they weren't able to speak about what that anger was about, but you were going to give them a message, what would that be?
The first thing is that it's okay, like because a lot of times when people are angry, it's demonized, right? Anger is an emotion, and it's valid in a lot of situations. It's just you can't act on it, right? You have to separate your anger from emotions, and you have to separate like thinking logically, and being able to take a step back and breathe and really think about the repercussions of what's gonna happen if you act on your anger. So, like I said initially, I just tell them that it's understandable and like it's okay to be angry. Like, what are you gonna do with that anger? How are you gonna use it? Are you gonna use it to do something that's gonna better you as a person, make you more money, things like that, or are you gonna use it and break down your life and set up barriers for yourself? So it's really just like take a step back and see what you could do with that anger, how you could channel it, because it's only two ways you could go with it, and one of them is just building walls in front of yourself.
As a young boy looking back, like at that time frame, what's something that you wish you knew then that you know now around how to deal with the anger pieces?
Something that I don't know that I wish I knew then is that there's a lot to live for. There's a lot of life, I haven't seen yet. Growing up in Bermuda, it's easy to get caught in this mindset of like, big fish in a little pond, right? So you think you're the biggest, you think you're the baddest, and you just don't know. So like, you go away and you realize like there's a lot of world out there to explore, and you do certain things, you get the wrong fight, you do the wrong thing, and then all of a sudden you're bound to one island and you can't explore the world like you should really.
Why did you choose to show up, share a little bit about your story, and what do you hope that sharing with us today will achieve?
Why shut up? Just because I feel like the youth, especially in Bermuda, they need people who they can kind of relate to. I understand what the dealing with, like the peer pressures and things like that, because not too long ago I was dealing with the same things, and I just want to like let them know that like there is greener grass when you choose the other side. You might not see it like being in the books and doing things like that, but like through sport, through education, things like that, of going away, like free of charge, or like there's so many opportunities out there for them, beyond like what the streets could offer. You might see all the glitz and glam, the nice cars, the jewelry, things like that. That's nothing that honest work can't buy you. Apply that same hustle that you would have applied if you went down the streets. Like you apply that same hustle, like a trade or a sport or business, anything like that, you would thrive either way. Like like you can't deny hard work.